Everybody, welcome to Bonus Time. If you are listening to this and haven't heard our best of 2016, don't want to get that far ahead of ourselves. Best of this is the companion piece, the worst of.
I'm sure this tweet has been made, but it's not gonna be tough for me to not write 2016 on my checks this year.
I feel like I just learned it. I feel like this year went by real fast.
This year I'm ready to leave behind, so I'm ready to start writing 2017 on checks.
I wanted to see if, like, because I really the media landscape is so weird. When I see people flip out over other people's opinions and movies they don't like, I just don't understand it anymore, because this is poorly thought out, because it's like, what's our least favorite TV show? Like, why would I watch my least favorite TV show?
Yeah.
What's the worst movie? Why would I watch my least favorite movie? I did look up. Do you know what got the #1? And Grim is joining us again. Hi, buddy.
Hello.
Can you guys guess? It's lovely. What movie, according to Metacritic, scored the lowest? And it was a movie we were ironically looking forward to. Features a little
Suicide Squad
Oscar winner,
Alex Cross,
known as Kevin Spacey, as the voice of
the
cat movie.
9 Lives has an 11 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Man, almost saw that.
I feel like you have to watch. We have to watch it at the end of the year. It's like that
also-
shitty cocktail we have to down because of all the things that have happened.
That does seem fair.
I also realized in the best of, because there was no clip to grab, I didn't mention Shin Godzilla,
Oh my God, yes.
but was by far my favorite movie of the year.
You did talk about that
on bonus time.
and again, it was so awesome hearing what you said about it. I'm lightly trying to forget it, but I love thinking about it. That the whole key to rebooting Godzilla is just like, relax about the things you think that make him Godzilla and do new shit.
Maybe we'll snip that part out and put it as a break.
Yeah, we can do that.
That legitimately was where I'm like wrapped with the tent. Like,
so I wanted to start light just because there are a few constants I have in my life, but like I do like getting a new iPhone, getting it on the S cycle, because letting the early adopter shitheads who line up around the block.
spelled with a C, Chris.
That S cycle is the second iteration of that numeric iPhone. So
I have iPhone 5 cycle.
I've had 3S, 4S, 5S, 6S. This is the most disappointing phone I've ever had. It improves almost nothing. It added, Dave, you have the same model but the
6S
bigger one.
Plus.
Remember, like, it's got 3D touch.
Yeah.
Have you ever used that?
Only when I mean to delete something and it does it, and I wish it didn't.
I hate it. And then the iPhone 7 came out, and that headphone shit. I just had to buy new headphones, and it really fucking bothered me. The lightning, like, all of a sudden, Apple's going to take the stance that it gives a fuck about music, considering it's never changed the components of its headphone. The headphones company it bought is
Beats by Dre.
You probably read more about that than me. That Beats by Dre, as a music fan, like those headphones are.
No, they
garbage
were designed by Monster, and then Monster. Well, because
but you break them apart, and they have added fish weights to make them feel more important. Like there's more components in them.
Yeah.
But
well, that was an interesting story though, because Monster, there was a record label. I forget if it was Capitol or whatnot, but basically they're the components that represent Beats by Dre. So all the Beats by Dre is basically a record label that is a Titanic, one of the largest record labels, and they partnered with Monster to make these headphones, and they basically stole the design and gave Monster zero money for designing and making any of the headphones, and they see no subsidiaries or anything off.
And it made what was the headline on that? Dr. Dre, the first ever billionaire rapper. He became a billionaire once Apple acquired the company. But that fucking light.
Good for him. I mean,
they're selling as of this recording, they just came out with those AirPods, which look ridiculous. They look like your ears are crying.
Yeah,
wireless headphones.
It's a solution no one wanted. Like,
the best part
Tangled headphones suck, but not that much that I would want two easily losable.
Well, the best part about it was the aftermarket accessory you could buy for them that was a cord that connected them. So
the charging cables. But I do have to say, like, ever since that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't want that shit. Oh, they'll get lost. They have to be recharged. And then, like, every time the arm of my bike tears my headphones out of my ear, I almost drop in the toilet and like,
I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I goddamn hate cords.
Yeah.
Like, I really irrationally get angry every time I'll place neatly folded things on a table, and I'll blink, and it's like they're now a twisted kraken of bullshit knots where it's like, how fuck you, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And I get so mad even today, like trying to pull my headphones out on the bus, where I'm just like, I'm gonna cuss out everyone on this bus just because I'm so mad at the headphones.
Yeah,
and
it's like me playing Street Fighter.
Yes, and then the moment I saw like those dangly, shitty earbud things hanging out of your ear in the promotional photo, I'm like, what makes you think that's the solution? That looks even dumber. And I don't know. I just like I want to ear like of all things. I don't know why, but the movie Her from a couple years ago,
Yeah.
which was whatever. But like the earpieces they had, where it's like no, the earphones are integrated into the phone, and they slide right out. They go in your ear canal. They're not like dangling out, looking stupid. And it's like, oh, what if you lose them? What if you lose anything?
Yeah.
Like you can't operate on life. What if I lose it? Then don't.
Yeah.
Or be prepared to drop things from time to time
Dude,
because you're a three-dimensional human being.
I will give that it does solve like the two things that make me feel the weakest in life. Like even on my strongest day, if my like you mentioned, if the cables get caught in a doorway, I feel like I'm going to collapse and have a heart attack.
I feel like I'm being bullied like every time that happens.
And if I happen to take
melt.
my earphones out when I'm walking off the bus and I have a bag, it's like
Yeah.
I lose all coordination and become like quap.
And those stupid fucking headphones have become part of our lives. I'm sure it's that way for a lot of people, especially those of us who don't commute by car. Like we always have those headphones on us.
Yeah,
It's one of the
bike
things we
or
don't leave the
walking.
house with.
Yeah, like
Goddamn keys.
God forbid I like walk outside without headphones at all. Like those days are the worst, and
I
it's
don't
like I have
lose
to-
my headphones. They never get tangled. I don't know what the issue
Really?
is. Yeah.
I put it in my pocket, and then when I pull them out, it's like, oh, we're in 6 knots. Like, how?
I do
You
wanna-
sat in a bundle in a pouch, unmoving for 9 hours, and
your
then,
leg was creating friction. Let's be very
but
honest
like,
here.
oh yeah,
Are you in
going
the-
in a big old? Like,
Are you in the pocket of Big Buds?
Oh, believe it.
Come on, man. Your assertion is brilliant, though, because one thing I've never lost, if you're talking about the Her solution,
Sure.
is the stylus for my 3DS. Like it doesn't. I don't lose that.
It has a place.
It
and
has
then-
a. Is it? What if it had a docking station that charged with the fucking phone?
Yeah, it's like it drives power. I don't know. And it's like, well, yeah, the battery life's already another problem. It's like, yeah, I didn't say that that's the solution. That please do it right now. It's just like I hope that's where it goes.
Cochlear implants, bitches.
Oh, yeah, I
and
can't
that's-
wait.
For me, locally, have you been to the new Apple store?
Yes,
It is the most opulent, unnecessary thing I have
I went
ever
into
seen.
like. It's the first time I felt like I was 75 years old. Where I walked into a 2-story Apple store in Union Square in San Francisco.
You sell 6 things.
And it's like, this is 2 stories. There's not one sign that says where anything is. There's no visual hierarchy. There are no lines. It is the most fucking THX Logan's Run shit I've ever seen in my life.
There's also no doors. It is
There's no rooms. It's one giant
It's one
room.
giant glass thing that opens. That's 2 stories tall. That opens.
And I stand up and I'm like, no one's approaching me, no one's directing me. It's a bunch of people in red shirts. Also,
Yep.
when did Apple get red shirts? I guess I missed that. And then look like I feel like I'm in a Target.
Apple is red.
I had to get the battery replaced in the 6S because it's fucked or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went in there for the Apple Care thing, and I had an appointment. Like, okay, you're ready for your appointment. I'm like, do I do something? And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just go sit over there on the little wood squares.
Yes.
So I go and sit in a wood square and stare at a large wall TV of
Yes.
promotional videos of people busting a nut
Silhouettes
on an iPhone
dancing.
7 macro view. And I was like, okay, and I just sat there and waited for somebody to come up to me and
Address you at
address
all.
me at all. And I was like, hi, I'm a homeless man. Can you change the battery in my phone that you broke?
And like I walk in like, what do I do? Like I don't understand. Like all these tables are identical. They're the same IKEA wood table, and this guy has Mario Run on it, but like everything is the same. It looks identical, and I'm like, someone tell me where to go. You need to go to the second floor for repairs. Well, okay, and then I go up to the second floor, indistinguishable from the first floor, and then I finally just interrupt someone else, like. Hey, do you know what I'm supposed to do? Because you guys didn't put signs up to get rid of visual clutter or whatever the fuck excuse you have. And it's like, oh, the repairs guy is that guy. Oh, the guy dressed exactly like you, standing by the one potted plant. That's the guy. Oh, just go stand in line. There's no line. We can't have lines here. That would imply inconvenience. So
it's
it was just like, I'm not angry at it. It was just like, guys, you're trying so hard to be THX or some shit. Just be a store that is functional.
And it is disturbing in a futuristic sense because when you go to Apple Care, you fucking have to sign in with your iTunes login. Like that's how you make the fucking appointment.
Yeah. So I bought my iPhone through Best Buy, and it was so like an un-Apple Store experience because it was like this
$3.99, get out.
This harried nerdy guy, like literally took out a pen and paper and did like he did math with me. Like we're like, should I pay for this all now, or should I do the the installment plan because the installment plan takes money off of your bill? And he's just like took out like a piece of paper that had something important printed on the other side, but he just did the math with me. I'm like, this would not happen at the Apple Store. They're too above that. But this nerd doing math with me to find out what's the
nerd,
best way to buy this. Like, okay.
Yeah,
And then I realized, like, I'm not getting another
I just
iPhone
actually,
after
I
this.
actually thought, I thought,
I think that's generally what I've heard from
Like,
everyone. Myself
I only
included.
use I use this for Facebook and Twitter mostly,
Yeah.
and any phone does that.
yeah, I'm considering other options.
Yeah.
Greg
And I
just I've got the Pixel, and I want to.
I don't play any games, so like,
Oh, not at all.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I had an Android for like 3 years, and then
yeah.
I stopped because the store at that point in like 2010 was like not up to parity at all. It was like, oh, did anything come here? No. Cool.
just
And
that
now
there
it's
was-
like the same.
There was a really good headline. I think it was yesterday, where it was every taxpayer in the U.S. has paid Apple $6 at this point.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Fucking Apple. But that device was my rock.
Well, I do appreciate them doing their tax holdouts in Ireland, though. They're providing a lot of jobs to the home country. Avoid paying taxes in America.
I don't know what that means. What happened?
It's a fucking, what is it, the Irish double, the Dutch triple thing? It's the same thing that Google does, where if you have an offshore company in one of a couple countries, you just have a front company there that has like basic like customer service shit, and you don't have to pay a huge chunk of your taxes. So they filter all the money out to these places and don't pay taxes on like billions of dollars.
And that is part of the thing about walking into that Apple store. Is like,
so if you're wondering why
you
your
guys have
streets
chi-
are falling apart and your schools
yeah,
don't
like,
have any money,
it feels like you have.
It's earpods R&D. That's where that
you
money
shouldn't.
went.
I walk in there. I'm like, you shouldn't brag about having this much money. It's like
Yeah.
the president's doing his first interview in a golden chair.
yeah, it's just like this opulent shit. It's like, guys, do you want to have a civilization or not?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, just say it,
Sure.
and we'll all just eat each other alive. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean,
just be open about it.
When you're eaten by the poor people because you're obese and you've got type 2 and you can't run, I mean, hey, you had a good run. Or sit, I guess.
Are you enjoying your experience with the PS4 Pro?
It's indistinguishable.
Yeah.
I bought it because my PS4 was breaking, and
Which is weird because how many years are we into that cycle?
2.
Two.
It's a real piece of shit.
it was.
I love the
like,
system
the-
for
the
what
dis-
it does when it works, but it's getting
The
long in the
controller's
tooth.
bad. The battery in the controller is terrible.
pretty bad.
Mine ejects discs all
Yeah.
the time. I did 8 million fixes on it.
Yep.
The hard drive and loading times have gotten worse
Yeah.
inexplicably.
And games have gotten strangely bigger.
Yeah, and buying a disc means nothing anymore.
Uncharted ran beautifully. I'll give that.
It did, but it's a 50 gig install.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And so like I kept keep yelling about it on Video Game Apocalypse. I'm like, look, I got GTA 5 and Uncharted 4 in like a month apart, and it takes up 120 gigabytes of my 500 gigabyte hard drive.
Yeah,
and when Sony releases the new model, it's like, here we go, 1 terabyte. I'm like, great, 8 games I would like to buy from you digitally, but cannot. I was so
Yeah.
upset.
well, it
with,
doesn't even matter if you buy the disc.
No, because
Yeah.
again, I bought the disc for Doom.
There's
That-
nothing on the
that-
disc.
That game still takes up 70 gigs
Yep.
on my hard
oh,
drive.
it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I
There's
didn't
nothing
know. I didn't know everything was a mandatory
absolutely
install.
everything.
Oh yeah. No, everything is an install. Even
And,
physical.
and it's
doesn't
it's
matter.
outrageous that like it's just like you've gone too far.
You can replace the hard drive yourself pretty easily.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus! Look at that monstrosity down there.
Yeah,
Michael gave me his enclosure. It's like a giant Frankenstein tumor on top,
Well, no, you
containing
can do
like
it
a.
internally. You pop the case off. It
I
takes
know.
literally
That-
5 seconds.
That's a
like-
2 terabyte hard drive. So
Yeah.
I ran it. I
I got a fucking PC that I bought like 2 months ago and put together.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, I'll just get a 500 gig solid state drive.
That's what I got.
I have 7 games on my computer. That's why I play indie games. They're all 14K.
I've actually.
Man, Ski Free is still good.
You want to
today,
talk
man.
about hey the most anger-inducing thing of 2016? I made an Adam Sandler video, a collection
Oh,
of
it's
every
so
time he
good.
eats food. That's what's taking up the majority of space right now on my 500 gig solid state drive. It's just like I got to get rid of this Jack and Jill file sometime. I want to make sure we all watch it.
That's the kind of crap you put in your mechanical drive. Come on, Chris.
No,
OS.
that's just where the fucking torrent loaded to. But
Right.
I got it for just like I'm not gonna keep a ton of games on here, just a few, and it is running better. I'm sorry to hear your computer broke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it shit
like-
the bed last night. I was playing Forza Horizon 3. It crashed and then it wouldn't turn on. So now I got to do all kinds of shit.
But you like Forza Horizon 3? I bought it.
It's great. It's
Black
one of the
Friday
better
and-
ones of the year.
Fucking pissed that. I thought we were over releasing all the good stuff in like one shot, and I'm never gonna
I
have
was
time to
very
play it.
interested because I was like, I saw these things that, oh, it's Blizzard Mountain, the new fucking like cool spot for you to go. It's a snow-covered peaks, and I'm like, yeah, and it's like $24.99.
Oh,
no,
why did I think
no.
why did I think it was free?
Yeah,
Fuck
me too. There's no mention that it's a paid thing. Most of the coverage I saw, and I was like,
Yeah.
you fucking hack.
So you're
$25.
playing that on the PC?
PC.
How is that experience? I don't actually
Beautiful.
know anybody's done
It's really good.
the X because if you buy the Xbox One version, you can just take it over to the PC.
I have no idea.
Apparently,
Why
or you
would
just
I
bought
ever
it
buy an
straight.
Xbox One?
For that
Actually,
fucking,
I bought it because Target had a price error and it was $20. So
you got an Xbox? Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah, Forza Horizon.
But you validated the Xbox One copy on your PC?
No, I just bought. When you buy the copy now, you just buy the Microsoft Store copy digitally.
Oh, okay.
And then you're
that's right. It was a voucher.
Yeah, it's the same like live account thing or whatever.
Oh, I hate that shit. Any other the worst things of the
Worst things.
Worst. Well, here's because like as far as movies go, I only could think of one. I'm sure you all are thinking of it too.
I didn't even see this shit. Why the fuck would I ever watch this?
But this is then you haven't seen the great scene, Grimothy.
Yeah.
You're letting him kill Martha. What does that mean? Why did you say that name? Find him! Save Martha!
I defended that scene.
I
It looks
love that
much
Grim
sillier.
has no context or like,
Nope, nothing.
and just that scene
looks-
looks so stupid.
Yeah,
out
it
of
does.
context.
Grim, that is Superman and Batman discovering their mother has the same first name.
Like, why
and
would he even
stops
say-
the fight?
is
And
there
that's
a
what
reason-
stops Batman from killing Superman. Is like, why'd you say that name? Like the word Martha gives you pause when you're fighting an alien.
Yeah.
Like,
What, is there a reason that he's calling his mother by her first name?
No, like
'Cause
Batman
I've never
knows
done
her.
that. I've never done that. I'm almost
That's an
36
excellent
and I've
point.
never done that.
it's so that movie was dumb and bad, and I didn't like it.
But that's the closest I got to like a terrible theatrical experience
Yeah.
because we were there opening night and like I love Superman so much. I know you can make a cool Batman film because I've seen one.
Yeah.
I wanted a cool Superman film and not. I don't care about spoilers. They fucking kill him.
Yeah.
They kill him at the end of the movie. Superman's fucking dead. That's
Yeah.
his
And
lore.
It seemed like such a now. Don't you feel bad for hating the last Superman movie?
I guess I do.
And also that, that it's been 20 years that are we gonna have a Superman dies movie ever? Like Nick Cage couldn't do it, and then they did this, and it's like this is such a dumb half measure. It's
Yeah.
not what I wanted.
It's so. I hate saying it like this. It's so disrespectful to the most important superhero ever.
Yeah.
That whole film, and I just really, really hated it.
They try to go there with there is a it's a rare case where it's like, no, guys, the comics have already told this story better than any movie will.
Yeah.
Well, in the current climate we're in, I think Zack Snyder's set up for a lot of big success with slavering, fucking neo-fascist, militaristic worship. Like, it's going to be good for him.
Yeah.
But Zach, I've never seen anything like that. Someone who can fail so publicly, and I mean, I guess it happens in the world of business all the time.
My
but
favorite
like,
part
Yeah,
was
if only
the.
our president were a guy who failed so frequently and continuously.
I love the idea that in the middle of this movie is a trailer for a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Where Batman,
somebody-
Batman
so you-
opens up an email with a bunch of
Yeah.
attachments.
Somebody called it. I think it was Willie called it on our stream a press kit. Literally,
Yeah,
they
it is a-
open a press kit
it
and
is a
click
press
on the
kit.
superheroes on
With-
the
that have
computer.
logos already.
That have logos.
Yeah.
and then it's absurd, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It was not good, and there's a great story to tell about what is Superman's role if people start to deify him,
Yeah.
and they start to go down that road, and then all of Congress blows up around him,
After Lex Luthor hands somebody a jar of piss.
a jar of piss.
Yes, fuck, I heard about that.
And
Oh my
it's just like
God.
it's just like every 6 minutes I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? And the problem is the movie's 12 hours long,
Yeah.
so I say what a lot.
You're like the guy from Idiocracy, the guard.
Dude,
What?
I'm in a fucking Stone Cold promo
Yeah.
in my own mind.
And Jesse Eisenberg, I still don't know if I hate his performance or not.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's trash.
Yeah.
It's not
See,
Lex Luthor.
and it's the same as what's his name, Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. It's like
Oh, the
you
Joker.
haven't given me enough to make me
Yeah.
realize whether I hate this or like this.
Yeah.
Like you put so much of yourself in
Yeah,
the performance,
Suicide
but
Squad I
can't-
didn't
yeah.
hate. It was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
It was
I mean,
it was a
I
mess,
guess.
but there's things to pick out and like.
Sure.
Like maybe there's a
It's,
director's cut.
it's the best post Nolan DC movie, but that is such a low bar to pass.
yeah.
I actually have two movies that I put in my worst
Oh, did
of.
you? Any worse movies for Grimothy? You see anything you
I
super
fucking really hated X-Men, and Star Trek was super bad.
hated? You just watched it, didn't you, Elsie?
I just watched it because I was like, well, I should watch it in case it ends up on a best or worst. And I was like, I didn't hate it, but I was just
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm sure if I saw Batman vs Superman, I'd like tear my dick off. But
but I did just watch it, and I'm just like, this shit again? Like some disenfranchised X-Federation dude? Like, we've done this story before.
it's real bad.
And that's kind of a spoiler, but the movie's like 7 months old, so whatever. But like, I like Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I actually don't even
It's
dislike
fine.
that new Star Trek cast. Like the 09 one, I was totally fine with.
No, I like fucking In the Darkness.
I don't know.
It was
I
just-
thought this was worse
yeah.
than that.
Into
Like,
Darkness is like when. That's why I thought this might be better. Is
Yeah.
because this at least won't have a Lionel Hutz giving a. Oh, is. I'm not wearing a tie at all speech.
If that's what you think.
If that's what you think, I'm about to tell. My real name is not the one that you just said. It is, in fact, listener and viewer of the movie. And they're just like, just say fucking Khan already. We all know.
It just felt like.
And this didn't have that. So
Granted, I've watched 0 episodes of any Star Trek TV show,
You
but
don't
it
need
felt
to.
like an episode.
Feel free to speak on the subject.
Well, no, it felt like the first 2 movies were at least eventful.
Yeah.
This was just like, we went to a planet and it's
Yep,
weird,
nothing
and it's
happened.
like, what?
this movie was weirdly Insurrection,
Yeah.
where it's like Insurrection was about, which was a long episode, and everyone criticized it for that. And I was like, well, dude, the show's been off the air for 4 years,
Yeah.
so sign me the fuck up for a new episode of Next Gen.
But we're getting a new show, so it's like,
Yeah, so, but this was like, there's a planet in the middle of a brambly,
Yeah.
hard to get through nebula. And then when we get there, there's something going on there that we can't let out or off, or there's someone disenfranchised there who's trying to compromise with the Federation or whatever. And it's like, this is too many similarities. And then it turns into a
Oh,
boring
God.
swarm monster enemy
Yeah.
that it's
Who
like.
are defeated by the fucking Beastie Boys
By-
song from the original.
And they've literally surfed this ship through a wave
Yeah.
of, and it's just like, part of me wants to just like let go.
Let's say that this is the only instance of Chekhov's midget alien acidic jizz snot.
Yeah. It was just like, and I didn't hate it because I'm like, I just let go. Like, I have no
Yeah.
attachment to that era, that part of Star Trek. And I just wanted to have fun. But it wasn't fun.
No.
It was like beats that I've seen either in these prior 2 movies or in other Star Trek movies. So I'm like, I don't really get this. And then when the main thing that stuck in me, where I'm like, what? When they like beam me onto one of those drone ships, and then we'll get the pilot out, and then we'll hack their network, and then because they're all drones, we can then get in the network and play Beastie Boys really loud, and it'll really confuse them because no other race but humans have ever had music before.
Yep.
Especially loud music, which then they'll call classical
Like 5 times.
because it's old. Get it?
Oh my
Like
God.
anyone will ever do that.
His stupid fucking motorcycle that he just does donuts around and like shoots like
shoots
crystal garbage out.
It's stupid.
It's so bad. It's
really bad. And but like
that's disappointing because
I didn't hate it. I was
I
just
know, yeah, it's
but
like-
what the thing about the drone ships though, where I was like beam us onto the ship, and I'm like hold on. I'm willing to let go numerous transporter weirdos shit with these movies where numerous fast-moving targets performing impossible feats. Like when he beams out on the motorcycle and
Yeah,
the motorcycle's
yeah.
already in motion.
Yeah.
Part of me's like, I think that motorcycle should have been stationary.
Dude, the trailer airspin handhold.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
was-
yeah.
That's the Ne Plus Ultra of Garbo.
But I'm willing to be like, who cares? Like, it's more action oriented. It's more fun to see that stuff in motion. I'm fine with that. But when they like teleport him directly onto the ship,
Yeah.
that means the ships don't have shields.
Yep.
That means you can beam someone on.
Yep.
That means you could beam the pilots out of their ships.
Yeah.
You're next to a space station that looks like 7 cities glued to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have all their transporters beam everyone, all of them out of the ships.
Right.
The whole thing with Star Trek is if the shields are down, you can fuck with the ship all the live long day.
Yeah.
That's why shields are important.
Yeah.
These ships don't have that. If you can beam Spock and Bones so precisely into a ship that they then hit an eject button and shoot the pilot out, which is already like, there's just an eject button that the pilot can't reach? Or what the fuck are you doing?
Gotta get up to hit it.
They had to, like, yeah, the pilot's like, what? Oh no, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, isn't he tied down? No, the 2 guys who just teleported in. I'm like, I'm letting go so many things about this, but then the moment I'm like, no. You could transport all those ships. It may take a while, right? But it's like you're in a death situation where like these guys are tearing you a new asshole. So everybody just start teleporting the ships apart, or teleport bombs onto the ship, or teleport every human on the space station into those ships and get in a fight. Like, why only these 2 people get beamed onto the ship? I'm like, I pause the movie and yell out loud at the TV, where I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not some insert, and then no, we have to play Sabotage.
Yeah.
So, believe me, it happens.
Literally that.
So, like, I didn't hate it, but it did not do anything for me, and I'm just like, stop it with these movies. Like, I don't know who they're serving.
I think it made enough money to merit another one.
I'm sure it did. And I don't even, like, again, the 09 one, I'm totally fine with. I'm not boo hiss new Star Trek at all. I'm just like, I don't get this, like, it doesn't hold. I don't know. I did like when Spock at the end sees the photo from old Spock and it's the old cast. It's a great touching. I'm like, that's cool. But and Justin Lin is the director of all the Fast and Furious movies that I love, so I was willing to go along the ride for like all this crazy shit. Let it happen. Like,
Sure.
the excess doesn't bother me. It's just like I feel like so much of this stuff was a repeat of shit I've already seen in other Star Trek movies or other action movies.
Yeah.
And the villain, don't care. I love Idris Elba.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you had to do very little.
You gotta try to make Idris Elba a not care character. Like,
Great in Zootopia, by the way.
But yeah,
circling back.
I'm reaching because it's one of the few movies I saw. So therefore,
Well, thankfully, Dave is here to see every shitty movie that comes out.
Hey.
I was astounded by this one.
Well, yeah, we did a Monday night movie for this earlier in the year, so it got my hopes up. Like, it's Zoolander 2. The original
Yeah.
Zoolander
It's really fun.
it's really funny. And I
it's
thought,
not my favorite comedy, but it's fine.
and it was in the same boat.
I'd like another one.
as Dumb and Dumber 2, where it's like, where I thought like it's been so long they wouldn't bring it back unless they had a really good idea. And just like Dumb and Dumber disappointed me, this movie disappointed me, and
Is this a specific scene?
It's no, this is a trailer, but
Oh.
it focuses on a shitty joke that made me walk out after 20 minutes.
We were a joke out there. I guess fashion's changed.
Meet the biggest supermodel in the whole world is all.
Are you like a male model or a female model?
All is all.
I think he's asking, do you have a hot dog or a bun?
I did watch this for free, of course.
Yeah.
Man, it is. Leonard Maltin, a man I love and respect, who's reviewed everything for years, is like, yeah, I walked out. This is awful.
Yeah,
And, like,
I can't remember the last time I walked out of a movie, but I did, and I'm like, oh,
You
The
walked
Witch
out
is
of this
playing,
one?
and I watched The Witch instead.
you walked out of Zoolander too.
Yeah, because I
Damn.
just thought like,
You and Leonard Maltin.
yeah. Well, it just got to a point where it's like I can't watch anymore. Like
I read the descriptions of it and like, yeah, I get it. It's a stupid
Yeah.
comedy that doesn't make a lot of sense with a lot of celebrity cameos.
Yeah.
But like, no, it was really bad.
Yeah, I got like 20 or 30 minutes into it, and I realized like this is not going to get any better, and I like it's just stupid. Like I got to some scene where they're like all out on a balcony and they're shouting at each other, and and Neil deGrasse Tyson is there. It's like, why? what does this even mean? You're just doing this because you
it's-
think it'll be like important
It's
or viral
the
or
ultimate
whatever.
overdose of cameos. Because
Yeah.
like I do love it when that happens in Austin Powers, but it usually happens in the intro or one big
Yeah.
segment, and then it's over. This was like every 7
even
seconds, like a
the original
crazy.
Zoolander. It's just like okay, the people in the audience, like Fred
Yeah.
Durst, David Bowie.
On the same
Yeah.
musical plane in
Yeah.
2002. Jesus Christ.
And unfortunately, only one of them died, and it was the
I'll
Montgomery
get
one.
to it in a second.
And the other one, so like, I went to Scotland this year, and I had 2 transatlantic flights, and watched almost everything I could. And like,
That's how I saw
for,
the new
for
RoboCop.
for a movie to be bad, that while you're watching on a flight, that means it's like another layer
Yeah.
of bad.
Yep.
But like comedies, I tend to
just
give
weird?
them.
I pick movies that I wouldn't normally
Oh, yeah.
want to watch
Exactly.
with anyone on the
Yeah,
plane. So
that's-
I watched the bad movies.
That's why
there.
I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 on a flight, and I surprisingly liked it. But this is a movie that had like a great cast that just did not deliver, and I just couldn't find funny. And granted, I'm not the target audience for bad moms. But yeah,
In this day and age, it's impossible to be a good mom.
Screw it. Let's be bad moms.
I'm in. To
I
bad
had the titular line in Bad Moms.
Somebody move my stool.
The Badular Mom and Tish. All right.
It's good.
but it's just like this is like the SEO-driven movie that came out of Bad Santa, Bad Teacher. Now it's like.
A Dirty Grandpa.
Yeah, and the characters only exist as mothers. It's like there was so much good comedy that focused on women this year that it's like this is just so like so narrow, and just I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, sorry. You maybe we got to do this quickly. It made me think of what the hell? Both Star Trek and Bowie made me think of the awful year of celebrity deaths, and like I think we're so connected now, and we know so many people that we've never met. People are like, "What is up with this year?" I'm literally seeing people say that, and like, it's not the year, man. It's just that, like, I was talking to my dad, like, he didn't know the names of television actors, so if they were to die, it wouldn't matter because that person hasn't mattered in a long time. There's no syndication, and if you think about it, my grandparents didn't have the medium of television from which to draw celebrity deaths from. So we have famous Viners, YouTubers, a bunch of people who can die.
Yeah.
Know way too much about pop culture. Know way too many names because there's so many people writing about them. So this is every year is going to be more depressing than the last in terms of like high profile deaths. However, Prince, the combo of Prince, Muhammad Ali, David Bowie, For me, Gary Shandling, Gene Wilder, like just really
Alan Rickman,
important,
Alan
like
Rickman.
Alan Rickman as well. But like that was so major. And
It's a lot.
So you still haven't seen Jungle Book, right?
No, I haven't. No, it's on Netflix. I can check it out now.
Because there is a person who died this year in that movie, and Anton Yelchin. Hearing that person in the movie will make you sad.
Really?
I don't want to spoil anymore because it will.
Is it Kimbo Slice? We lost him too.
Yeah, but it'll catch you and it'll make you really sad when you.
Arnold Palmer, Anton Yelchin, China, Florence Henderson. This was stupid bummer for us. Talking Simpsons, we pre-record. It's never fucked us. Until the Gordie Howe episode where Bart uses the Gordie Howe.
You mean
picture.
Woodrow Wilson?
Woodrow. That episode he died.
Yeah.
He died a week after we recorded it, and it goes up, and there's no mention of the death of this character. Who with the show, the format of the show is like, who is he and what's he famous for, and like just don't mention it. It's so stupid. We lost John Glenn, Alan Thicke recently.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible in that how he died, because one, he's a little young. Two,
69. The weed number, as Knopflis would say.
He died playing hockey with his son on the ice. He died in front of his young son.
But like I read that like
here's the good part.
Well, yeah, the silver lining to his destiny is that like
he got a hat trick.
Yeah. No, but that he wasn't like
2 heart attacks. The third one
he did have like the heart attack, but he was still like awake.
He could say things?
Yeah, and he told his son like, take a picture of me, son, before I go, like getting loaded into the ambulance. But like,
that sucks.
But it's also like that he's got to have last words.
Yeah.
Like say
Patty Duke, Kenny Baker, R2D2,
Patty Duke.
Leonard Cohen. What's that guy's name? John McLaughlin.
Yeah.
And Abe Vigoda ending the joke forever.
Oh, wow.
That predates me being alive.
Yeah.
That Abe Vigoda died.
That's the one.
Gary Marshall. Gary Marshall. I love that Louis clip of him. You'll hit your head on the ceiling and you're going down, probably for good. Big bummer. I lost all my grandparents officially. They also passed away. The era of grandparents is over. Grim, you have any grandparents left?
Yeah, my Irish grandma still.
My Irish grandma still kicking. Big bummer. Let's get out of deaths. Jesus, now I'm depressed. Fuck. I did like.
Want to know about the worst wrestling of the year?
Eva Marie, am I right?
WrestleMania 32. Like we had a good streak of wrestling. Well, we had 2. 30 and 31 were great WrestleManias, and 32 was fucking like. First of all, it was like 7 hours long.
It was 7 hours long.
And there was like 3 good matches out of 12. Like 3 memorable matches. And
I did watch this, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuck around till the bitter end. But like Shane McMahon, like the Hell in a Cell match was fucking it took forever to do one thing.
Yeah.
And then the main event nobody cared about. It was
yeah
Triple H versus Roman Reigns, where it was just like,
who cares?
Yeah, we're all marching towards the inevitable conclusion we didn't like. Like that WWE even had the solution earlier in the year. They managed to make Roman Reigns win the title, and people didn't reject it. But they were like, no, Roman has to win in WrestleMania because he is the golden boy that has to have his shining moment at the main event. But it's like, yeah, once Stephanie McMahon did her Mad Max intro, like that main event was just trash.
I totally
that intro was great.
Yeah, the intro was great, but
I also looked online to see what people were calling the worst music, because we discussed beforehand, Grim. You might know more about the worst music of the year, but usually that gets labeled to things that are popular and people who don't believe they're justifiably popular.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it before too, but like music criticism, like you look at Metacritic,
it's tough, man.
There's nothing below 70 on there. Like everything is okay.
Yeah, you made a song.
Yeah,
like I can't do that. I tried with the fucking Christmas parodies, didn't work.
I am looking at what you have pulled up here on the screen though, and boy howdy, that is a funny story.
Which one?
So B.O.B. is an Atlanta singer-songwriter type guy. And you heard about his whole thing this year, right?
No.
So he's a big proponent of the flat Earth theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is how I know him.
And this is his song about that.
Are you kidding?
I've never actually even listened to this. I don't know why you would. But
in a game of chess, globalists see me as a threat.
Oh, the globalists!
World at my neck.
Globalists!
And my paranoid picture Malcolm X in a room full of bigs trying not to bust a sweat. Hey, Neil Tyson need to loosen up his vest.
Shots fucking fired. At a 50-something-year-old.
Is this the worst or the best? I don't know.
Wow, you have a track slam on Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yep, no, absolutely.
This write-up says a bizarre diss track where he blames the Jews for telling us lies about the globe, and there's something about mirror lizards.
Yeah.
Just in case you were worried he forgot something.
And he
He's the
legitimately believes that the world is flat.
Yeah.
And that the round Earth is a conspiracy.
So what's out there?
Here be dragons.
Are we just floating like flatbread? Like
Yeah, no, if you
But
go
it-
far off the edge, you die.
is space
Just
real?
it's a bunch of generic textures.
I mean, I'm sure he's been on an airplane, but it's,
I guess I don't know like what they think is out there. Like
Well, you
is,
fall off. You
is
go into
space
space.
fine? But like Earth is Earth, and it's part of a solar system. But
Right.
a globe. Come on.
here,
feel
just
like-
add him on Twitter. You'll get a
I
response.
feel like
All right.
we also did a 180 on Neil deGrasse Tyson this year.
Did we?
Like,
a little. He got a
I
little.
think we're about fed up with.
yeah, well, like
a little too
you know,
pedantic
Cosmos is
and-
great, but then like
Sure.
that he has to explain every like. Well, this is why Westworld's wrong. Like, shut up.
yeah.
He's a
I
very
feel,
smart
I feel
man.
bad for him because like people ask him to do that though
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
specifically.
for sure.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
how you solve that problem?
Stop answering.
You don't
Yeah.
follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you'll never notice he talks.
'Cause I really like
Oh,
it.
yeah,
But, like
absolutely.
whenever I see him giving a speech at like a school
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
it's real nice.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
And I
Like-
love, dude, get baked and watch Cosmos. Still a great experience.
You
so
don't have
amazing.
to get baked. All that shit's really interesting.
No, it's much more. It's mind blowing.
Bro, I don't want any of the facts to stick to me. all right?
I can't contemplate the universe unless I'm high.
I'm not going to listen to artificial selection unless I'm ripped. Fergie's MILF. Never heard it before.
No
now
idea.
I did. Fucking awful.
Money, I got that, I got that, I got that MILF money. You got that, you got
Milf
that,
money?
you got
That's a
that
thing?
MILF
And
money.
a dude's
You've got that milk
Good.
money.
Dude's-
I've got that MILF money.
Remember that show that they got greenlit on CBS that was actually called MILF and Cookies?
What?
Yeah, absolutely.
On the Old People Network?
Yeah.
In between all the Jag spinoffs? That seems impossible. This was legit terrible. I did hear it. Fallout Boy featuring Missy Elliott covering the
Ooh,
Ghostbusters.
oh, I got it. Oh, boy, boy, boy. Okay, that's enough of that.
So disappointing.
Did you see the Suicide Squad video with Rick Ross and Skrillex and Jared Leto?
No.
Oh, you should pull that up real quick.
Okay. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, Jared Leto's in it as the Joker with Rick Ross and Skrillex, and they're like
Is it
writing
for
on a
the
boat and shit.
soundtrack?
Oh yeah, it's from the sound. I think the soundtrack is the second best-selling album of the year for Suicide
The
Squad.
soundtrack, which is your dad's mixtape.
Yeah, it's yeah. Oh yeah, here you go.
I just it
Yep,
did,
Purple
I did read
Lamborghini.
for like the 90th time that I think vinyl outsold traditional music this year. Or
Oh,
other
the
physical
pipelines
media.
are all fucked up, so everything's backlogged. But yeah, this is if you haven't seen it, it's called Purple Lamborghini, and it's a Skrillex and Rick Ross track with Jared Leto in his Joker character.
This is like the most you'll see of the Joker, more than
That's what I
Suicide
hear.
Squad.
So enjoy a video of slimmer Rick Ross with Skrillex.
Murder on my mind, it's time to pray to God.
You can just scrub forward. The song is
religion,
super.
bikini lurking. Rose, so she know that pussy. Flooded Rolex at the Grammy.
180 million.
180
views on this
million
thing, and I've
views.
never heard of
The
it.
only
I suck.
music
Wow.
video starring Joker that I'll accept is Bat Dance.
Fair.
That's a lot of Jokers too, and I never heard of this guy. Maybe this. I don't know what this is.
From the looks of it, this looks like one of the internet's favorite things.
I'm
which is
back.
Prepubescent white kid rapper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And these are things that I'm guessing are super popular on YouTube and not us.
Yeah.
I used to think that these were ironic, but it's actually turned a corner to where they're not anymore. So you
Yeah.
can be a 12-year-old Bieber-looking kid who's like spitting hot bars about shooting people, and people apparently are really just into that now.
I hear he was giving money.
You gotta see this video. This is Misha, Song for All the Haters.
Big book of British smiles.
I'm the new legend, the next Justin Bieber. I will get all the girls. Deal with it, bro.
Okay, this is
You
like some
tried to
foreign
bully
kid.
me,
I
but
feel a little
no.
worse about this now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna click on it, and you're gonna see how many
I'm
views
back.
it has. 10
million.
million
Yeah.
views.
There's some like every
There's a
time-
whole army of these fucking
Yeah.
kids now.
There is one artist that always comes up when I put the first letter into the search bar on my Xbox. I think it's Maddie B.
Oh, yeah,
and,
Maddie B. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
do you just have like the SEO of individual letters where I only see when I put the first letter of Botchamania or something else in there or SNL? Like,
Maddie B.
only shows up in that context, and he's got this ugly, like he's just this thug kid, and his dumb face is right there in the like. It is like the YouTube super zoom in because I have to see your reaction. Like, ugh.
And we are sort of running out of time here. Lots of worse things. I know the election was bad for all of us. And Graham, I'm not sure I talked to you. Were you in the air?
I was
when the election happened.
Yes, sir.
Dave, you were in a foreign country, but like touching down.
Yeah.
Did you have the internet on the plane? Did you at least?
We heard like I think about 45 minutes an hour before we landed. Apparently.
Like it went through the plane?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Whispers went through the fucking plane?
Yeah. People were asking
Jesus
the stewardess
Christ.
about it and stuff. Yeah.
And I don't know. That thing still, the election stuff bothers me all the time to a degree I can't really comprehend. Especially, I just thought it'd never get worse than like, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It gets bad all the time. And every time you talk about social issues, Graham, I've always been the person to like, defend people. People are all good at heart and kind of want the same thing. But even I'm for every recount, and I know it might not make a difference. But if you do find a Russian digital worm, that makes sense of the whole world to me. That the election was hacked and compromised, and the majority of people do not ascribe to these theories and do not want what's happening to happen. But that isn't happening, and regardless of Mr. Trump, people voted overwhelmingly for Republicans across the board.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult now for me to understand I'm willing to admit the whole bubble thing, but that really this is what the most of the voting country wanted. It's I don't know. It's just something I struggle with every day. I know this is a longer converation.
No, I mean it infuriates me for a lot of reasons because I started to go down that road on the best of, but like. I don't know because like you're from Florida, the South, and like I've
seen the ugliest, but I've also seen the best from people.
Sure, and I mean I'm from this
Californians think the worst of, and
yeah, I grew up in this same thing where like I don't know, it's right on the line of North and South, so like it's basically the South, but it's Chicago rules the state, so that's where the voting goes, and like I don't know, I've had to live through a lot of the situations where a lot of the anger comes from when they vote wanting jobs and when we vote wanting this kind of stability and security, but it's like so much of it I don't know where to start, where it's like yeah, but how many of every one of our governors has gone to prison because people keep promising things and you keep like, well, this guy's gonna fix it. No, they're not. Like
there's no miracle.
You have to like dig in and not shut down, and like now that's happening across the board. There's no like it's just the people I disagree with, and I'm so right. Like somehow this year became more than ever like if you're not my guy, I am not even entertaining you at all. And like it's gotten to the point where I can't even trust when I see a story that makes me mad and makes me want to be like, yeah, man, the other side's so wrong, and I'm like, that's fake. Like you're doing fake stories that like. That's like that Trump tweet's not even real. Like I was so ready to believe it, like because it sounds like something he'd say, and I'm ready to get angry. But it's like everybody's just gone insane.
Yeah.
And
that's
like
what it feels like.
And like being from a spot where like yeah, this area's been perpetually depressed. I've had friends not graduate high school. I've had friends because they're constantly getting shuffled around because their parents don't have jobs and they got to move to this state and that state. And you got one of 4 jobs, and if you can't get that job, you don't have a career. You've got to like. And I know that plight of like we need real jobs and you need to bring this shit back and like, but also, do you want to pay $3,000 for your iPhone? Like, because you'll have to if we're gonna assemble them here. Like, it's just like there's so many things going on that like, but you're not my guy, so I'm not even talking to you. Like, you're an idiot. You read all the websites that I know are wrong, so we can't even talk anymore. And it's like, it just got so like the last few times I've gone home where I've just been like. It's that's some of the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard. Like you didn't talk like that in the 80s and 90s. Like
isn't that fucking weird?
It's just like it's so much more on the surface, and like part of it is like talking heads being intentionally deceitful, and that was always going on. But like the degree and transparency of it, and
members
the
of
amount
Trump's cabinet having to delete tweets involving deliberate fake news.
It's like I don't care what your agenda is, whether it's shit I agree with or shit I disagree with. When you dupe people into your point of view just so you'll have more clout, it's just like that's not how civilization works. I don't know. I'm very Star Trekian in my like. We have to get to this point. Like that's got to be the gold standard.
Thought we were on the way.
Well, there's a World War III in Star Trek, so that's what it takes, and that's a very sad but prescient statement of like, no, it takes us almost going extinct to realize the pursuit of wealth and money in the short term is not the real goal. It's embedding
Well, it's
improving, embiggening yourself as a species, as a civilization, and that's the path through. But like, when we agree on 75% of the same shit, but then that 25% is where it all falls apart, and it's not possible. And like,
it doesn't need to be as polarizing. As...
And it goes back so far. It goes back hundreds of years, and just being able to like. It just stresses me out to no end of like, but that's where I'm from, and I don't believe everyone there is an idiot and racist monsters, because that's not true.
No,
and I don't like when SNL and all these other shows make them out, oh yeah, but it's a caricature. That's how comedy works. You do stereotypes. That's how, fine. It's fine, but like, that's not how everyone is. But that area is more complex than you realize. To be in that bubble, because I lived in it, and it took me leaving to go like, oh, there were a few things I did that like, people out here would judge me for being sexist or racist or not woke, but it is a bubble, and you have to get out. But I also think there are people here that are in a different bubble that don't have the perspective of people growing up where, well, the factory's gone, this town is now toast. So people can be desperate and ready to buy into something.
I couldn't believe it when I went to Milwaukee, and I thought I was watching a movie. I'm in a hipster bar in the former industrial area, and there's all 20-year-olds and one 60-year-old. Who starts yelling and pointing at the factory, saying, "I used to be the fucking foreman of that." Like, just is this really? I was fascinated just listening to him.
But it's
like, that guy exists.
Don't you mean for person?
But then it's
that's why we lost the election.
But it's like, do you think any president is going to like convince all these companies like bring those jobs back here so we can have a factory and industry again?
I'm
like,
not sure how.
I don't think a president's going to do that. Like,
that's
tax incentives aren't going to be like, you're right. We should definitely.
I don't have faith in.
You got to be ready to pay more money for shit if you want to build it in America.
I don't have faith in the person that's been elected, but when he's. Like, maybe there is. I keep looking for. Maybe there's a good side of that. What if he actually does prevent jobs from leaving?
Dude,
the country?
if he does, then okay. Like, I'm not going to be like, and what an like. He's still a bad person, like through and through for decades before he ran for anything.
It's a short-term game that he lied about publicly to make it seem like a bigger deal than it was.
Yeah.
I think the guy from Goldman Sachs is interested in anything at
that
all
is,
would benefit
but
him.
what I want more than anything is I understand now why people voted for him. But you have to.
I mean, it's also like, I know this argument's been made ad infinitum, but it's just like the onus is also on the Democrats for being completely tone deaf and moronic, and they've completely lost touch with a huge swath of the country, and they do a terrible job.
The platform this year was just like, can you believe him?
Yeah,
like,
we're not him. That's not a fucking platform.
Yeah, it's not a platform.
It wasn't a platform, and I'm probably guilty of more voting against somebody than voting for somebody. Yeah. I still stand by Hillary would be a fine president. It'd be great, fine, better than this. But fuck, I forgot where I was going with it. Never mind.
My worst of the year is not so much the election results.
Well, I didn't watch a lot of Trump.
It's the complete breakdown of communication.
And you ever seen the Trump regrets thing? Like, I need people. I need people who voted for him to pay attention and call him on shit when he's clearly lied about it.
Out.
And because they created a chant for Ted Cruz of Goldman Sachs because that was the enemy, and then to hire 3 of them into your cabinet. How do you do that? How do you betray people on that level?
It's
and
just pointing out his insane, endless number of fucking hypocritical things has done nothing.
Executive?
Yeah, it doesn't matter though.
It's
like this
comical.
is who he is. Like pointing these things out, you can go on Twitter and go, "Huh, got him good."
I don't.
No, I mean, I'm guilty of the same thing. You read these shits and you're just like, "Oh wow, they really caught him in a logical conundrum on this one." And it's like he gives negative a trillion fucks about that, and no one cares at all.
I mean, he got owned so many times on John Oliver and all these shows. It's like doesn't really
not at all.
Yeah.
Literally, none
you
of that
matters.
matters.
You called him Trump. Good one.
None of that matters. No one where I'm from watches any of the things you just mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember in this first month when he just did an impression of a disabled reporter in front of people
Absolutely
on camera,
abominable.
and it just kept going. It just got worse. And I see that thing of him like he walks out and he almost looks bored. He's going on a victory tour because he's so vain, and then
so vain and fragile.
You hear I got Times Person of the Year, and he just seems bored. Can you believe the person used to be man, right? And like he looks bored trying to stir up that kind of anger in people because it's easy.
And I don't think he believes any of it. He just saw that it gets a reaction.
I bought you all Hamilton tickets to tear up, and I had a Starbucks write Merry Christmas on all the cups underneath your seats.
What do you think about Aryan Kanye?
I keep using this as I don't want to talk about this all the time in our shows. I really don't because the whole part of the show is to ignore.
There's 2 whole bonus times all about it.
I know, but it's like I haven't had anything outside of the realm of entertainment and being silly that affected me so much on a mental level. Like where every day it just
it's inescapable, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's what I was legitimately asking you.
Like it's harder to fucking retreat into fantasy when it's like the shit is kind of on not even just America's doors, but the world's doors right now.
Yeah.
Like this Trump sentiment is not localized to the United States. Like
Yeah.
you look at Brexit, you look at
It almost happened in Italy.
the guy in Aleppo.
and-
Yeah, like there was that Marines guy that they were gonna
Yeah.
try and elect in France, but that fell through. But it's just like Merkel's getting fucking pounded in Germany for the refugee situation, and the rights going up there again, and it's like. Everybody right now just seems to hate the government and hate large collections of people. They hate the media. They hate the government. They get angry. They feel they can't trust anyone. And so they're just pulling away from everything into themselves.
I read an Al Jazeera article that just boil it down to like everybody in the world, no matter who they are sensing that the pie we all eat from is getting smaller. Everybody knows that's about to happen. And they have the right words for it, the disappearance of the middle class.
Oh, we're going to have a war for
growing
water.
capital.
Don't you worry about
but
that.
Like everybody seems
I'll
to
live
realize
to see
that.
that.
And so what maybe is happening is everybody in the world is resulting to like really basic tribalism, like just rallying around this one group to ensure that some of their pie is still left. And like I don't know what to do about all of this. I don't have a solution. I was legitimately asking, like, because I loved hearing Dave's story about it. This bummed me out so like to drink an entire big bottle of Jack Daniels and wake up sober and like after 2 hours, like just trying to go to but how do you do that when you're overseas and alone? Like at least I could talk to Brett the next day.
Well, I had to explain it to every Tom, Dick, and
you did?
Tom, Dick, and Owen.
I was waiting like, what is it?
Fuck.
Emer, Nisha, no.
It was nice though because I got a whole week where I didn't tweet, I didn't fucking use the internet or anything.
I was looking at your Twitter and I was
like,
were you doing it intentionally or could you
no,
not?
I was
tweet
totally
and...
just I didn't
like
want to.
yeah, that was. I feel like a benefit to being overseas during the whole thing was like. The next day we went on a bus tour that there was no Wi-Fi, couldn't connect to the internet, so I was just like, it's as much as I can put it out of my head, I put it out of my head.
Yeah.
Instead of having, and now that I'm back, it's like I'm gonna check Twitter, see how Trump is depressing me today.
Yes, yeah,
and
exactly.
it's
again,
like this
counts because
that's not healthy. Yeah, it's bad.
This is the worst of 2016, and it's really scary to see that the worst is not yet to come. That's very frightening.
Still got even 4 full plus years.
Well,
maybe there could be measures. There could be
impeachment or
assassination attempts.
I mean, even just a basic heart attack. Like that dude eats like a moron.
He eats
like a giant baby.
He
with
eats,
money.
he eats KFC.
I need a simultaneous synchronized heart attack.
He eats a KFC on top of a pile of newspapers.
Plugged in.
Like, how can you live to be 70?
He loves taco bowls.
I just don't understand.
It's an ugly sentiment.
So, like,
and the fake news stuff is the last. I officially kind of withdrew from talking about this stuff online because someone on the other side. I don't even want to call it that. Asked what about Pizzagate, man? I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I was on that, looking into it a little bit before everybody else, and it was very easy to debunk.
Yeah.
And then I posted about online once everybody started writing about it after that it caused a fucking guy with a gun to go in and like that
should be the end of the fake news right there.
If you're responsible for that, isn't that you can't fire in a crowded theater? Like
how is it when you're constantly saying stuff that you know is misrepresenting the truth or spinning it or outright lying when it results in something like that? Like
that Obama and Clinton go to a place to fuck kids. The same place? They would go to different places.
The same place.
You don't
in a basement that doesn't
cross
exist.
your kid
with
fucking
pictures
wires.
we stole from other, and everybody can prove this. And there were people in the comments, and I'm really, really trying not to be flippant because we're all guilty of that online with conservative people. Like fuck you, get that's idiotic. Screw you,
Chris. The thing is, for every weak dick libtard that tells you your conspiracy theory is factually incorrect, that makes it more correct.
And that's what's happening. That's what I think is super odd. But I always a weird comparison to Christians and Jews.
Hey, bring it back.
Well, that Christians, there is a giant outreach campaign to join them, and the Jews take criticism like, cool, whatever. We're not putting pamphlets on your fucking car, and we're not showing up at your door convincing us. And I think that's what the left has done for the most part. We're not recruiting as much as I have shouted down. I haven't tried to win anybody over truly.
No, there's a lot of like corrections and like you're not as woke as me. And,
I'm treating it like
it comes from a place.
If you don't see why this is so great, then you just don't get it. Whereas
Yeah.
they have an active recruitment campaign to prey on the sensitivities and fears of other people to draw them in.
Right.
And like that's.
Well, I think it sort of plays the other thing though. Like
all we have is art.
mentioned it-
Art is our recruitment campaign. That's what it is.
I mean, comedy, I guess.
Books, movies, comedy, stories, empathizing, like that.
Right.
That's how you become liberal or left-minded.
Right. I think I sort of mentioned in the previous episode we did or whatever, but just there's that idea where it's just, it's pretty clear that there's lines in the sand for like left centrist, right centrist, alt right crazy.
Yeah,
and then,
I know there's
and
a
I
difference.
refuse to use the term alt left because that's completely manufactured horse shit. That's false equivalency nonsense.
It's the same on both sides.
But no, it's not at all.
Welcome to the alt
But then there's
center.
like, you know, a more left version of an American who's
Yeah.
like more friendly into socialism and stuff and is really into worker rights, $15 an hour, all the Bernie shit. And it's like, and there's clear delineations. But the problem is we're still lumped into one of two shitty parties that I don't think anyone really likes anymore.
It's weird, but then we all rallied around these two choices, and I don't think anybody was really satisfied with that. And
No, not at all.
I underestimated how many people were dissatisfied with Hillary to a drastic degree. And like if you look at it, like Trump won by 20% of the voters who showed up, not the ones disenfranchised, not the ones who can't vote because they committed a crime like 30 years ago. 20%, a fifth of people got a dude elected. It's very strange. But again, you can't just blame it all on Trump because the Republicans went across the fucking board.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, everywhere. And I don't hate Republic. I'm sure I just don't like some of the methodology of it. I'm sure we sit down and talk, we'll all want the same thing. Good schools, strong families.
As an elected
fair
official, it's like, I think in, you know, the head of the public, it's like, oh, well, you're some sort of figurehead or some sort of person who has guiding principles. When in reality, I think the majority of elected politicians have become careerists, where it's like, you're just interested in keeping your job like the rest of us. And I mean, but my job is not a job that is to put forth policy and to help govern and guide and lead a country. My job is to make sure that the guy that wants to return Skyrim gets full credit.
But it was more like maybe an olive branch of some kind. It's cool. It's living in San Francisco or a diverse city is fun. There are benefits to it, clear benefits that we don't talk about. We just assume you're stupid when you get scared about living with Muslims, and that's probably not cool. I'm trying to operate on a understanding level, and then you talk to the Pizzagate people and like, but man, this isn't true.
Don't talk to those people.
These are comment sections, but
I know.
but it's like here's an article. That thing you think is
talk about literally anything else with them. Like that would be my thing.
Well, they're on my page because they like all the other stuff we do. We have more in common than we don't.
Right? Yeah,
but
I get that.
And it's so bizarre that you won't allow yourself to be reached in this. You need to believe this.
So talk about something else. Don't get wrangled into fucking loophole conversations.
I thought someone showing up to a gun over a fake news story that like a weird underbelly that I can't see keeps corroborating that it exists when it clearly does not. That's really dangerous. And like if I'm actually talking to this guy about it and I've done the research, which I stupidly had, like I just thought I don't trust MSM lowercase. Like what the fuck? Oh, it's the mainstream. Oh my god, he doesn't trust the mainstream media. What media do you trust? And you go to he sends me these sites and like, dude, this is a hoax site. This is not a real thing. Like none of this is real.
So you shouldn't be approaching that conversation with the idea of using rational logic to further it.
I just worry that there's not recruitment.
Talk about
happening
Bells
with
of
the left.
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, recruitment is important, right? But you shouldn't be trying to recruit Pizzagate guys.
Want to be a recruiter? I like the idea of like living in a nicer place with people who are more understanding.
Right.
Presidents come and go, but like there's an
a friend of mine's
ugliness
trying to
here.
get me to go to this Democratic Socialists of America thing, which is like this whole other sort of pro-Bernie, not pro-Bernie. That's stupid. But it's sort of just that idea and that campaign is like attempting to further that sort of idea.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know. I haven't considered myself Democratic in many years, so it's like the idea of like, oh well,
progressive. Well, if I hadn't talked to you that much about that, we keep threatening to consider moving. I'm like,
well,
not to Wisconsin, baby. Not after what they did. Who they voted for somehow.
Well, it's just a happy coincidence. I'll have to move out of the country since I have no family left here.
Oh man, that's okay. Also in the worst of 2016, file in the right place. Good for you, Grim.
Vine died this year.
Vine died.
Oh yeah, fuck, man. That was one of those things where it was like, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, and then that one day I was like, this is the greatest service. Like, why didn't we all use this?
That day I was like, my timeline's being clogged by auto-playing videos. This sucks. But it's like, I liked going to Vine and just be like, Super Deluxe, Squidward hitting the dab.
I thought
that I can see all this on one site.
I thought it was one of the best forms of new comedy to emerge from the internet. The whatever Twitter did for thoughts, which is stupid now because like
probably for the worst.
Let's find that back.
No. Bracket,
The problem
bracket
is
thread. That's what I love. That people talking in thread. Like
Right.
you're trying to write like where you'd write on any other site but the one you're using now.
Well, the best part about it is that Twitter can never go bankrupt now because government bailouts are going to happen if they ever shit the bed that hard.
You know what's
they
going to be
weren't
really funny, and like someone had a better article about this, but our president-elect has violated Twitter's terms of service several times and has sent people after individuals.
Yeah.
What if Twitter bans the president? I don't know. It's a hilarious thing. I hope happens. And also, we lost, according to this Emigre, we lost a Vine star this year as well. Yeah, but Vine, a 6-second succinct joke, visual joke. I thought that was great. I wasn't good at it. I saw a bunch of you guys make good stuff. I think I made a good thing here and there. Do we have our favorite Vine? You
said it would be Squidward hitting the dab. It was that happened.
No, but the one that you made.
Oh,
because
I haven't made one in years.
I love the one you made when you're watching Battlestar Galactica and you make fun of the character by repeating the lines to your cat.
Yeah.
And again, you condense that into 6 seconds, and that's perfect. That's great. That's a great joke. You said you liked my Vine of throwing away Jason Mewes action figure as a snooch to the nooch.
Yeah. Snooch to the nooch.
The trash sound was perfect.
It was. Of course, that was ruined for me when I learned after the fact that you fished that out of the garbage because it was too precious to get rid of.
No, that's just I kept Kevin Smith through.
Okay.
As he doesn't fucking talk when you accidentally move him.
Snooch to the nooch. Trash.
Any Vine that you liked? Let's leave this on a positive note.
I mean, I favorited so many
that
when it was dying. My favorite one was a clip from an Ernest commercial where he takes a credit card and sticks it in his teeth, and it makes the ka-ching sound. And I was like, nice. Yeah, and it's one of those things where I rewound the tape because it was a VHS, and I was like, wait, rewind. No, I can do better.
That's awful.
I can do better than that.
You can't even scrub a bar back.
I can do better than that. No, it was legit on a 4x3 TV on Christmas Eve.
No, that was the only thing I used Vine for. Basically, was like, oh, I'm watching this old Raw or Nitro on WWE Network. I found 6 seconds of just stupidity that I'm going to put in there.
Yeah.
Like Chinch Spire, who was on an old bonus time.
Really funny.
That's all he did to it. And it's like
it made me love Will Sasso again in a way I never thought I could.
So many good Vines, man.
That's been the worst of 2016. Let us know your worst of 2016, and maybe we'll read those responses. I kind of don't want to.
But thank you, everyone, for supporting us all year.
You guys are the best of 2016.
Thank you, Michael Grimm.
Yeah.
Which, objectively, you might have had one of the worst years of anybody I know.
That's been the worst year of my life, for sure. No question.
And I don't know, man. I'm going to try and get you something nice for Christmas.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, love you, Grimmy.
Do you like Fraggle Rock?
Yeah, boy.
$5, buddy. $5. That's all we're asking. But yeah, enjoy Sonic's Christmas Blast if you haven't already.
I will.
He's doing it again.
Let's close it out.
Fucking rooster.
Dave, you have a song you want to?
The worst song of
no. Let's.
I Am a Cuck by
yes.
By Tim Heidecker. The perfect closeout to the year.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a fag who wants blacks to live amongst us. And Arabs to have equal rights. I have no love of country. White folks are all bad, but when the all-right folks attack me, it makes me sad. I am a cuck.